Okay, good evening to all. Today we are going to discuss top 60 question of geography, and let us start with the very first question. Resource planning is essential for sustainable existence for all form of life. Support the statement with the example. The very first question they are asking about, why do you think that resource planning is important for everybody, not just for one person, but it is important for everybody, है ना? So resource planning is a systematic and strategic for the purpose of utilization and conservation and management of resource. It is an essential for sustainable development because resources are limited and unevenly distributed. So very in general answer, anybody with no knowledge of geography can also write this. Survey requires sustainable development because the resources are limited. Now, if something is limited, we need to use it judiciously and strategically. So nothing new. Unequal distribution of resources, that is one of the major concern in human society. That's a few people are very rich and they are having a large crunch of money and resources while others don't have. India has a region rich in mineral and forest while other lack for the basic. Like we have some region like Rajasthan, lot of sand, which is source of your silicon. We have Jharkhand that have lot of coal, but sir, they don't have everything. Jharkhand have something that Rajasthan don't have. Rajasthan have something that Kashmir don't have. So if we don't do resource planning, if we don't plan, if we don't strategize, these all resources would get wasted. So this is important. Prevent over exploitation, sir. If you are not aware about the limitation of your resources, you may over exploit it by thinking that I to have too much of it. So you should have estimate that how much resource you have. Indiscriminate use can lead to environmental degradation. Overuse of groundwater in Punjab have resulted in depletion of groundwater level. So these kind of thing you should know. Ensure intergeneration equity, means we should not be the one who should be ending the resources by ourselves and giving nothing to our future generation. Okay, so the very first question is finished. Okay, two more points are there. Protect environment. If you are using too much of resources, you may cause environmental disbalance. That's why one of the point is environment also. And promote sustainable development, which is nothing but a further part of old point only. Now explain the different steps for resource planning. You see, this question had been asked in 2020, 2017, 2014. This is very important question. Sir, what are different steps of resource planning? In fact, if you remember in your geography book, it is written in similar way only, very similar way. It is written and they ask it word to word. This is one of the most important question. What are the steps of resource planning? So this is important. What are the steps, sir? Surveying of resources across the different region. So as I told you that Rajasthan have huge reserve of sand, though sand is everywhere available, not concentrated, but still Rajasthan have lot of sand, which is a good source of silicon. Jharkhand have lot of coal. So sir, first you will survey what you have, how much you have, mapping of their location, estimating the quantity and quality, studying the potential for development. Okay sir, I have this much of coal, what could I do with it? So these are these points are word to word important and they can be asked. Okay, explain the different step. Okay, it's the same. Without the proper identification of below, guesswork, it will be difficult. Evolving a planning structure. After identifying a suitable planning structure is developed, this includes use of appropriate technology, which is very important. Use of appropriate technology. You may have a lot of potential at your state, but if you don't have appropriate technology to support it, you won't be able to do anything, है ना? So use of technology, creating institution and framework. You see, India have multiple institution to support the farmer, है ना? Because we have fertile land, but until and unless farmers are educated, farmers are trained, they won't be able to do anything. So technology is important, institution is important, and resource development policies are there. Okay, so these are the things. So this is very important question, and examples are just there. So example 2 you can see. Discuss the factor responsible for land degradation in India, and this is again very important question. Sir, land degradation. Normally you will write some in journal points, sir, land get degraded due to fertilizer, some chemical. No, they are specifically asking about India, so we have to give specific example that are given in our book, है ना? To be specific, NCERT book, they have given us example of overgrazing, है ना sir? The land is degraded in Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh due to overgrazing. The land is degraded in Odisha and some part of Madhya Pradesh due to deforestation, है ना? In Punjab, Haryana, the land is degraded due to over irrigation, है ना? Then mining, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, and then industrial effluents, है ना? You can write in journal point after writing these points. Sir, overgrazing, over irrigation, over grazing. Did I say grazing? Okay, so grazing, irrigation, deforestation, mining. These are the 4 examples that are given in your NCERT along with the state. है ना? So after writing these points, you can write, sir, fertilizer also do, industrial waste is also there. But before writing in journal answers, write about them. Suggest any 6 measures to solve the problem of land degradation. Sir, if you know the source of problem, you already know the solution. Sir, you only said over irrigation. So by reducing the amount of irrigation water, you can solve this problem, isn't it? Overgrazing, sir, by planning the grazing, not grazing over one specific area, है ना, for a longer amount of time, you can divert the grazing population, है ना. So you are allowing on this land for particular month and for this land for another month, है ना sir. So by planning for the grazing, by planning for the irrigation and mining, controlling the mining, we can control the land degradation, है ना. Then plant shelters, this is also very good, है ना. Example, sir, what happened in arid and semi-arid region? The sand dune, the sand particles move from a desert area, arid area to the fertile area, है ना. And what happened when they move to fertile area? They also make the new land sandy or barren, है ना. So in order to protect it, we plant some trees. We plant some trees at the border of arid area and fertile land. So this is our plant shelter that saves our land degradation. Okay, so earlier points were to control over irrigation by planning the amount of water, to control overgrazing by diverting the animals, and this point by planting a shelter belt of plant in a semi-arid region. Then stabilizing the sand dunes similar to the plant belt, because sand dunes are the one who are causing your fertile land to become barren. Then proper management of wasteland. Sir, even though the land get wasted, still we can manage it and try to recover it. Reclamation of saline and alkaline soil through the proper drainage and gypsum treatment improve the soil quality. Control on mining activity, that too we discussed. Explain the type of soil erosion mostly observed in India. Explain 3 human activity responsible for them. Another template kind of question. They ask it directly. Though I have just mentioned it on 2020 16, but this question has been asked multiple times. Okay, so the types of soil erosion mostly observed in India. First, due to water erosion, they are sheet erosion, rill erosion and gully erosion. Sheet erosion, rill erosion and gully erosion. Then due to wind, it take a large part of soil to another region, especially in the arid region, because in arid region the wind speed is faster than the normal area. Then deflation and aeolian erosion, wind remove from fine particle leaving the porous material behind. Okay. Then human activity responsible for the soil erosion. So deforestation, overgrazing and over irrigation, similar to the last question only. Over irrigation, whenever we will talk about over irrigation, we will give specific example. Punjab, Haryana and Western Uttar Pradesh. Overgrazing also we will always talk about the Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. Because without example, geography is little bit incomplete. Even though you know answer, but still you are not giving correct example, it will be incomplete. Now, resource planning is essential for the balanced regional development. Regional development, why sir? Because resource planning in India is, resources in India are unevenly distributed. Some regions are rich in mineral and forest, while other lack even basic resources like water. Without planning, this imbalance increases equality and underdevelopment. Okay, so resource planning in India, it is unevenly distributed, as we discussed earlier only, that some resources are only occupied by Gujarat and some of them are only in Odisha. Without proper planning, imbalance will increase and underdevelopment will cause. Unequal resource distribution, that we discussed. Prevention of regional imbalance. So these are the points. Each region has specific resource, that you will tell, that sir, coastal region have fishing and port, plateau region have focus on mining. Planning will help the people to get benefit of everything. Unplanned exploitation leads to depletion. Punjab excess groundwater use. You see, once you know that sir, Punjab is facing this problem, Gujarat is facing this problem and Odisha is facing this problem, you can use the same set of examples for multiple question answering. Same set of options. That's why I am focusing on example. Resource planning is important. So it is important for sustainable use. We discussed this question earlier also, but the wordings were different. So it is important for sustainable development, so that your future generation also get to use the resources. Integration with national development, you have to do it because you want it. You want to develop your whole nation, not a specific state. Describe any three main features of a black soil. These kind of questions are also asked so many times. Yeah. Okay, so where we were? Three main features of black soil. These kind of questions are also template questions. Black soil, also known as Ragar soil, is ideal for the cotton cultivation and widely found in Deccan Plateau region. What is its texture? Fine texture and clayey in nature. rich in calcium carbonate, magnesium and potash lime, poor in phosphorus content. The chemical composition make it suitable for certain crops. What is the certain crop? Are sir, the cotton, the groundnut. Yeah? Black soil can retain moisture for a long period of time. That is, it's one of good quality. It developed deep crack during the dry season, which help it in proper aeration of soil. So these are the physical features. Similar question can also be asked on alluvial soil, black soil, forest soil. So all soil should be done. Okay, so because of moisture holding capacity, this is nothing but further explanation of it, but we discussed it. Okay, explain the main feature of alluvial soil. Like I said earlier only, CBSE love to ask about soil. So alluvial soil, black soil, forest soil, they will just give you this soil and 3 marks, explain it. So alluvial soil is one of the most widespread and agriculturally important soil in India that we know. In fact, the whole northern plain is made up of it. If you know the whole northern plain, the Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Bihar, the northern plain is made up of alluvial soil only, and all the area at the bank of rivers is also made up of alluvial soil. Okay, so the formation is by the deposition of sediment brought by the river. So if you don't know anything about alluvial soil, at least that too you should know that sir, it is formed due to river. When the river comes from the mountain, it brings sediment with it, and this sediments make the alluvial soil. At least this much though everybody should know. Why sir? Because it will give you 2 points. First, you will be able to tell its origin. Second, you will be able to tell where this soil is located. Because you know, sir, in this part a major river is there, in this part a major river is there, and on the bank of all major rivers, the alluvial soil is there. So the formation alluvial soil is formed by the deposition of sediment brought by the river Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra and their tributary, fine material like sand and slate and clay. It is a transported soil composition rich in potash, phosphoric acid and lime, similar to the black soil. They will ask you about content, what it contains. So it is rich in potash, phosphoric acid and lime, generally poor in nitrogen and humus. So in order to give it nitrogen, you have to use fertilizer. Okay. Texture. It varies from sandy to clay. If you have studied this chapter in detail, you will come to know that sir, when you move toward the source of alluvial soil, what is source sir? Source is river only. When you will move toward the source of alluvial soil, you will feel that sir, its texture is changing. Its texture is changing. Sir, it varies from sandy to clay loam. Coarser soil are found in upper reach of river and finer soil are found in lower. So on upper part it is coarse, and on lower part it is finer. So sir, it have 2 types, Bhangar and Kadar. The Bhangar is old alluvial soil found away from the floodplain, because it's old, it is formed way ago. Contain calcareous deposit called concord, and then we have Kadar, new alluvial soil found in a floodplain, more fertile because of renewed annually. Okay, so suitable crops are rice, wheat, sugarcane, maize, pulse and oil seed. Okay, so these are some questions. Okay, why is issue of sustainability important for development? Explain. So this is a kind of question that you can write even without the preparation, but still If we are present here, let us do preparation. Okay. Development without the sustainable lead to resource exhaustion and environmental collapse. Okay, sir. So, nine. Okay. So, development without sustainability will cause what? First, it will cause environmental degradation. Second, it will cause problem for our future generation. Okay. Resources are finite. Non-renewable resource like coal, petroleum and minerals take millions of years to form. Reckless extraction will leave nothing for future generation. Examples are overmining and environmental degradation. So, development that ignore ecological balance create long-term damage that we are able to see right now only. But right now we don't need to focus on that ecological problem, but we will just write a problem. So, environmental degradation and future generation have problem with resources, and just give one example of it. Long-term economical stability, that is also one point. That, sir, it might occur to you that you are using lot of resources now, but in future you exhaust the resources, then how you will earn? Most of time the world fight for oil only, because oil is limited. So if the oil get depleted, what will people do? And global responsibility, environmental problems like climate change and pollution, it do not respect the political boundaries. Sustainable development are essential for the global survival. This line is very important, very important, because previously questions are asked on this particular line only, that explain that environmental degradation does not respect the state boundaries. So sometimes they may call state boundaries, sometimes they may call political boundaries, but one thing you should know, that it don't respect. Explain with the example the way to solve problem of land degradation in Himalayan region. Okay. Afforestation and reforestation. So whenever somebody asks us about a Himalayan region, sir, Himalayan region is a mountainous region. Himalayan region is a mountainous region, and the biggest problem we have there is soil erosion or continuous loss of soil. So by doing reforestation, the tree holds the soil, so it will cause a better soil stability. Plant trees and degrade slope, bind soil and reduce erosion. Terrace farming, steep slope are converted into stepped terrace to reduce the soil erosion. You see, they are converted into stepped terrace. So this kind of terrace you may have seen, to reduce the soil erosion. It prevents the landslide and retain water for crop. Controlled grazing, we already discussed that grazing is also one kind of problem that cause the soil erosion. Restricting the livestock number and rotational grazing will prevent it. Contour bundling, earthen bond built along with the contour line shows downfall water, reduce the surface runoff and soil loss. So these are 4 points that you need to write whenever somebody asks you about Himalayan region. And then proper land use planning. So avoid construction and agriculture on highly valued slope. So if you are aware that number of landslide in Himalayan regions are increasing, because we want to make our beautiful hotels at there, and that are causing harm to the valuable or vulnerable slopes, and hence landslide are occurring more. Okay. Name the soil type which is widely found in western Rajasthan. Explain 2 important characteristics of soil type which make it unsuitable for cultivation. Why the Rajasthani soil is not suitable. Okay. The soil widely found in Rajasthan is desert soil. You can also call it arid soil. It is characterized by sandy, low fertile. The soil is sandy, loose and porous. Water drain quickly, cannot retain it. Arey sir, it cannot retain it. That's why, that's the problem, because in tree, because for giving nutrition to your plant, you should have retaining power, so it don't retain the water, making irrigation difficult. Low fertility, poor in humus, nitrogen and phosphorus and organic matter. Cannot support or grow without heavy use of fertilizer. Additional, that the rainfall is less than 10 to 20 100 to 200 mm, often saline and alkaline in some areas. Okay, so from our soil is natural resource because it supports life, agriculture and ecosystem. It is medium for plant growth, support human and animal activity, habitat for organism, influence climate and water cycle, raw material for the industries. These are 5 points. So we are not going to discuss on this one too much because it is very easy peasy. Just you know the heading, then you are able to write the whole answer. How do sacred groves show interconnectivity of spirituality and ecology? This is one of the most important exam, and okay, sacred grove are the patches of forest protected by the local community. You see what happens, sir? These are the forest. So there are some patches. There are some patches that are considered to be sacred. These places are reserved for the god. These places are reserved for the god. So these places are secured by the local communities, local people or the local tribals. What they believe? They believe that this place belongs to God only. They demonstrate how culture and ecological are interconnected. Okay, people considered certain tree, plant and forest area as sacred. Cutting or hunting is prohibited. Example is one of the Meghalaya sacred grove, Lo Lingdong, and Karnataka Kudu Sarvana. It also cause conservation of biodiversity. It not only cause saving of tree, but biodiversity also. Biodiversity also, because sir, there are multiple creature, insect or animal that get their home or living space in these trees. So then ecological service help in soil conservation and water retention, mountain microclimate and prevent erosion. Then cultural value. Cultural value to be discussed only. How do tribal practices promote the conservation of forest? It is similar to previous question only. It is similar to previous question only. Tribal communities in India have traditionally lived in harmony with the forest. You see, before the arrival of Mughal and before the arrival of Britishers, tribal people had full control over the forest and they used to treat forest as their home. So they had too much connectivity with the forest, so they have some tradition with it. Their practices often conserve the resources and maintain the ecological balance because their livelihood is dependent on it. Their livelihood is dependent on it, so they will to conserve it, no? Okay. Control use of resources. Tribe collected forest product, fruits, leaves, firework in regulated way. Sir, दोबारा बता दो please which question. नहीं. Okay. बोल दो कि ध्यान दो यहाँ. Okay. Okay, so tribal communities in India, okay, we discussed that, है ना. Examples are Bega tribe of Madhya Pradesh collect minor forest produce without cutting the tree, है ना. Ritual and totemism, certain animal, plant or group are considered sacred. Hunting or logging is forbidden in these area. Example, the sacred grove or Western Ghats protect the endemic species. Rotational farming and shifting cultivation. You see, earlier, without the knowledge of ecology or without the knowledge of biodiversity, they used to had practice of crop rotation or the slash and burn kind of farming. So what used to happen, they used to shift their farming from time to time. This give time to place to get heal, है ना. Hence forest communities are helping it to preserve itself, है ना. Community based management, है ना. Forest management is also collective decision of resources made by the village council. Okay, outsiders are not allowed. Why is conservation of wildlife important for all of us? Explain. Wildlife is a vital part of ecosystem. Conserving it ensure ecological balance, supporting human life, maintaining biodiversity, maintaining ecological balance, है ना. Animal, bird, insect play role as pollinators, predator and prey. Loss of species can disrupt the food chain. So our useful word is this only. Sir, we are interested in food chain. We are interested in food chain. If the biodiversity get any kind of trouble, if they are in danger, our food chain will be compromised, and that's our interest. Okay. Okay. The tiger control herbivorous population, preventing overgrazing, economic importance, wildlife supporters, है ना, livelihood through the tourism, forestry and fishery. Another point, you see, through wildlife we don't only get food, but we also get tourism, we also get medicine, है ना. Medicinal plant, animal produce our resources, है ना. Cultural and aesthetic values. Wildlife has culture, religious and recreational significance. Protecting the species, maintain the tradition and enhance the quality of life. Example, elephant in Kerala temple festival, है ना, scientific and educational value. Wildlife provide opportunity for research and environmental education, help understood ecology and interaction, develop the conservation technique. Now explain the cultural value that contribute to the coexistence of nature. Cultural values in India have traditionally promoted harmony between human and nature. These values help conserve forest, water and the wildlife. Sacred grove and totemism. Okay, so you see here we don't have to explain a lot, because how we are coexisting, because we need each other now. We need each other. So you can just write that, sir, our tradition are made in such a way that we are dependent on forest, so they don't get exploited or they don't get ruined. So festival and rituals are also there. They are related with our culture, है ना. Many festivals celebrate seasonal change or natural resources. You have to focus on that, huh? There are so many festival in our religion that are related with the season change or that are related with the trees, है ना. Sometime we worship neem, sometime we worship banyan, sometime we worship other trees, है ना. So we worship tree. It shows that we are coexisting with the nature, है ना. We are not just using it for show. Okay. Traditional knowledge system, Tribal communities have knowledge of medical plants, sustainable hunting or water conservation, and the respect for nature is embedded in daily life. है ना? It is for tribal people, huh? Not for us. We are not the one who are respecting the nature in daily life. Community based research management. Okay, that is the another point. What is a wildlife sanctuary? How it is different from national park? This is also important question and asked very often. Okay, wildlife sanctuary is an area protected by the law, not by the people, by the law. And when we talk about law, means government of India is directly engaged in it. Okay, the wildlife sanctuary is an area protected by the law to conserve the wild animal and their habitats. Human activity like grazing, tourism may be partially allowed under regulation. Okay, purpose to protect specific species and maintain ecological balance. Sundarban Wildlife Sanctuary protects the Bengal and mangrove ecosystem, and this is difference between them. है ना? Human activity, grazing, tourism may be allowed. Okay, this is difference between the national park and wildlife sanctuary. You just have 1 minute look on it. है ना? In national park, the security is quite high, but it is moderate in the wildlife sanctuary. The purpose of both of them is to protect the local species, but national park also focus on flora and fauna, not only on the animals. Size of national park is usually larger than the wildlife sanctuary. You can also say that a national park is a premium subscription of wildlife sanctuary. Premium feature. Which potential measure can be taken to mitigate the threat posed to tiger population and biodiversity? Again, very important question. Again, very important question. Okay. So, establishment of protected area. The first measure one can take is to establish an area in which the tigers can feel safe. You see, we are the one who can make feel tiger unsafe. Tiger will also feel unsafe among the humans, so forget about the other humans. Okay, national park and wildlife sanctuary provide safe habitat for tiger and other species. Examples are Jim Corbett National Park, Sundarban and Bandhgarh. Okay, then tiger project. Not only they establish a specific area for the tiger, but they also launch a project regarding a specific animal. है ना? The tiger project was launched in 1973 to protect the tiger and restore their population. Included monitoring, anti-poaching squad and habitat management. Then the community participation involved local communities in conservation, prevent poaching and habitat the destruction, promotes the ecotourism and alternative livelihood, afforestation and habitat restoration. And this is important because you are giving them a new area to live. It would be better if you make them comfortable in their old area only. So the reforestation and habitat restoration is important. Replanting the native vegetation to restore the prey-based shelter. A corridor between the forest allow tiger to move safely. And then the anti-poaching measures. These are the steps one can take to protect the tiger. How do human beings influence the ecology of a region? Humans are a major ecological force. Their activity can be altered ecological system. We are here sitting on Earth. We are trying to change the ecology of Mars. So on Earth, it is so obvious that we have done a significant ecological change. Okay. First ecological change we did is by deforestation, then agriculture and urbanization. All of these three steps are taking huge resources from the nature and giving nothing in return. Okay, so I guess I don't need to explain what agriculture is doing to nature or what urbanization is doing to nature. You can just have a look for few seconds and then we will move ahead. Okay, if you want me to show the slide for few seconds, then you can write it in chat, huh? Okay, then industrialization, and sometime we also do the some positive influence, but that is so negligible that you can ignore it. We are doing far less of reforestation as compared to afforestation. We are cutting hundreds of tree and growing 2 tree in return, so we cannot say that we are compensating our sins. And wildlife sanctuary, we made a significant impact here by making wildlife sanctuary natural park, national park, है ना? That तो I should acknowledge. And sustainable farming practices. We are doing farming still, but we are trying to do it more sustainably. The destruction of forest and wildlife is not just a biological issue. The biological loss is strongly correlated with the loss of cultural diversity. Explain it with the example. Sir, what will happen if tiger will die? What will happen if rabbit will die? They will go extinct. What will happen to us? Nothing will happen to us. Our culture is also related with them. Our culture is also related with them. We have so many festivals, we have so many culture, we have so many day-to-day activity where we are related with them, where we are using them, we are dependent on them. Forest and wildlife are deeply connected to human culture, especially the tribal and rural community. है ना? So even if we as an urban citizen are not too much connected with the wildlife, but the rural people and especially the tribal people are too much connected with it. If you will cut a tree unnecessarily, the tribal people will be so pissed on you, because it's his home. Okay, dependence on forest. Many communities depend on forest for food, medicine and material. Tribals in northeast use forest plant for the ritual and medicine. Sacred site and ritual, that we discussed earlier only. That sir, in few parts of our country, the patches of trees are saved. The patches of trees are saved for gods. These are known as sacred group. So loss of forest destroyed the traditional spirituality also. And never forget to write the example, because examples are something that makes your answer complete. Okay, so sacred grove in Karnataka, Meghalaya preserve the biodiversity and cultural heritage. Traditional knowledge, indigenous knowledge about herb, crop and wildlife is tied to the forest. Deforestation cause loss of over generation. Like you learn some technique of drawing for hundreds of years, and now some people are cutting, some people are taking your drawing pad with you. It is not just economical loss, it is also loss of your intellectual knowledge. Now your knowledge that you acquired from not hundreds of years, but decades of your hard work, now this is being ruined. So wildlife is not just biological loss, but it is also loss of cultural diversity. This is very important, very important. Hunting. Describe the main thrust area of Indian Wildlife Protection Act. Important, sir. Wildlife Protection Act we study, the impact we study, but what are the reasons to implement it? We never implement any nationwide act just because we love some animal. No, there are some reasons, sir. There are some reasons, and there are some very hardcore reasons. The Wildlife Protection Act 1972, the date you must remember, is India's principal law to protect wildlife and their habitat. It focuses on conserving species, regulating hunting and protecting ecosystem. Sir, what was its objective? conserving species, regulating hunting, and protecting ecosystem. Protection of species, it had the list of endangered animal, है ना, vulnerable and rare species under schedule 1 to 6, है ना. So you should know that what was its objective. Hunting and trade of these species was strictly prohibited, है ना. Example, Bengal tiger and Asiatic lion fall under the schedule 1, highest protection, है ना. Establishment of protected area, provided a legal framework for national park, wildlife sanctuary and biosphere reserve. In this specific area you cannot do anything to animals, है ना. Government have full control for their protection in these regions, है ना. Protect natural habitat and biodiversity. Example is Jim Corbett National Park, Uttarakhand, Kaziranga National Park, Assam. What was motivation, sir? The only motivation we have is that if we cause depletion in biodiversity, it will cause problem on our food chain. There are other reasons also, but food chain is one of the most significant reasons, है ना. Regulation on hunting and trade was also made. Habitat management was there, and community involvement was there. Though in Wildlife Protection Act this was not there, it was not mentioned and not clearly asked by the communities to do that, but community themselves had passed the petition. Like, I am not asking you to do something legally, but you are doing, it's my it's my forest, it's my territory, I should protect it. So formally you should not write the community involvement in Wildlife Protection Act. Okay, so you can write about habitat management, that how government not only try to manage the population of tiger, but they also take care that tiger is getting enough of its prey. They are getting enough of their food. So sir, whole habitat, conserving a whole habitat is not a child's play. How do sacred groups? So we to discuss this question multiple times. I guess we can ignore it now, है ना. Explain the role of community participation. So this is also important. Sir, community participation could be of two types. First, the villagers, they are doing it by themselves, है ना. They are doing it by themselves, like some village of Rajasthan, है ना. They feels that sir, our animal are not getting protected, we will protect them by ourselves without the help of government, है ना. So sometime when the tribal people or the village people saves the forest without the help of government, without the involvement of government, this is one type. The second type is that government and common people are joining hand to protect the environment, है ना. So one of the joint management was joint forest management in Madhya Pradesh. The very first example of it was in Odisha. And the community participation is a vital, and you just have to write few things. That sir, the villagers of this village made their own wildlife sanctuary. The tribals of this state made their sacred grove safe. The people of Odisha along with the government made a JJM, joint forest management, JFM, my bad, not JJM. So JFM, JJM is the Jal Jeevan Mission. Now we will study it in today's lecture only. So so you will just give examples. Examples are most important part of your geography. If somebody asks about tribal, sir, this particular village of Rajasthan, this particular village of Andhra Pradesh, this particular village of Odisha, they are doing this and they are example of this. So it is important. Why is conservation of wildlife important for ecology and economy? We discuss this also. Okay, now let us discuss about water. है ना? We have reached to water. So let me grab some water. How has overuse of underground water created a serious crisis in many parts of India? Explain with example and context of sustainable development. Sir, how is sustainable development and overuse is related? Are simple. Sustainable development, what it says that you should use something in a judicious manner. So, over extraction of groundwater has become a serious problem in India, affecting agriculture, drinking water and ecological balance caused due to groundwater overuse. Intensive agriculture, high water demanding crop like rice, sugarcane in Punjab, Haryana and western Uttar Pradesh, they have caused lot of trouble because they are taking too much water. They are taking too much water. Okay. Urbanization, growing cities extracting groundwater faster than it can be recharged. So this is a problem, sir. Using water is not problem, but using water faster than the rate it can observe, that is problem. Industrial use, factory consume large amount of water, and not only they consume large amount of water, but they also pollute a big chunk of water. So they are causing water pollution 2 times. Agriculture is though responsible also, but industries are also responsible. Now what are the consequences? The consequence is, sir, declining water table. So what is happening, sir? Now you have to bore, boring. You have to dig a hole in order to get underground water or groundwater. So you have to dig more and more in order to get water. Water level have fallen drastically in Punjab and Rajasthan. Bore well go deeper and increasing cost and energy. Water quality issue is also there, sir. Excessive pumping brings a saline or fluoride rich water, making it unsuitable for drinking. Example, the part of Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat has faced fluoride contamination. Now, sir, ecological impact. The reduced groundwater affect the wetland, river and vegetation. It causes lakes and pond to dry up and harming biodiversity. So, link with the sustainable development. And unsustainable groundwater use threatens the long-term water security, ensuring recharge through the rainwater harvesting. Efficient irrigation and crop planning is essential for meeting future need. So these are the cause, consequence and relation with the sustainable development. So these are the things. How industrialization and urbanization impacted the water supply? So this question also asked 2 times, and I guess you have general knowledge to answer this question. Sir, urbanization, sir, the number of people living in urban areas are increasing day by day, but the water is not. That is causing water depletion. Second, sir, agriculture. Sir, as you said earlier, the number of people, the number of population is increasing. I should say exploding. The number of people is exploding, and hence the need for water, need for food is also increasing. And sir, developing food require lot of water. Hence urbanization and agriculture, due to huge demand, they are causing lot of water supply issue. Over extraction of groundwater in urban area, people are extracting water more and more, due to which the groundwater is depleting. And we discussed about industrialization, that sir, not only it use a lot of water, it also release the water, unprocessed water, into the water bodies that can cause change in temperature of water or acidity or salinity. Hence water get polluted, so water supply still get affected. So pollution we discussed. Mitigation and measures, what can we do? So we can do rainwater harvesting, efficient industrial waste management, and strict regulation on discharge of groundwater. Okay, now the one I was talking about, JJM, Jal Jeevan Mission. This is also important. It is important because it is providing, the aim of this mission is to provide water to every house of India, every house of India. That's our Jal Jeevan Mission is a flagship program of Government of India aimed to provide safe and adequate water to rural household. This is the mission. Sir, you should get safe and adequate water level to those people also who are living in a rural household. So the mission says that everybody should have right to get enough water, and that water should be safe. Ensure the tap water supply to every household. Focus on accessibility, quality, and regular supply. Sustainable water management, promote water conservation and efficient use, encourage rainwater harvesting and recycling. So these are the points. Why is water harvesting system a viable alternative? Why, sir? Because we cannot create a lot of water now. We cannot create water, so what can we do? Whatever we have, we can harvest it. Whatever we have, we can use it in an efficient way. So viable alternate? No, we have only one alternate. So there is no debate of that whether it is good or not. Water harvesting is a practical solution to water scarcity, as it captures and stores the rainwater for the future use, reducing the dependence on river and groundwater, recharge the groundwater, collected rainwater infiltrate the soil, raising the water table, reduces over extraction of groundwater in water stressed area. Examples are rooftop rainwater harvesting in Chennai has replenished the groundwater, reduced the flooding and soil erosion. I guess you can read it. It is very easy to be understood. So just have a read for 2-3 minutes. Sorry, 20-30 seconds. 2-3 minutes will be too much. Okay, so I guess you may have read the rainwater harvesting system, eco-friendly and low cost. You would come to know that, sir, this is a viable option because we had another option of making multi-purpose project, dams. So dams were very expensive, so rainwater harvesting is more viable. Okay, use natural resource without causing pollution can be implemented at household, community and village level. Rooftop rainwater harvesting. Describe the process of rooftop rainwater harvesting. Rooftop rainwater harvesting is a simple, effective technique to capture rainwater from buildings, roof, and store it in future use. Okay, sir, how it is collected? It is collected through the rainwater. The rainwater is collected from the roof through the gutters and pipe. So the system is very clear. You may have seen this picture on your book, that whenever rainwater get accumulated over here, it come through the pipe and get stored in some underground tank. So the rainwater is collected from the roof through the gutters and pipe. The roof surface should be clean and non-toxic, else you will get sick. Filtration, the water passes through filter and remove dust. So first water is not collected. The very first water is not collected. Water passes through the filter and remove the dust, debris, and prevent contamination. Then it is stored. Filter water is stored in tanka, pond, underground structure. Storage can be above or below depending on the space requirement. It also do recharge of groundwater, which is optional. You may store it for your personal use. You may recharge the groundwater. So if you don't have your own storage, so you can release the water in earth itself. So that's why we said it is optional. Excess water can be directed to recharge well or soak pit, help to maintain water table and recharge groundwater depletion. Usage for drinking and irrigation, reduce the dependency on municipal water. Okay, mention two methods to adopted by ancient Indian for water conservation. This is also very important, very important. Okay, so very important. Ancient Indian developed several innovative water conservation method to deal with variable rainfall and dry conditions. One of them is step well. The step well of Gujarat is very famous. I guess it is in Patan district. So very famous step well. So large underground structure that store rainwater and groundwater, provide drinking water for irrigation. So which kind of well it is? You see there is a huge, and there are steps inside it. So you can also go inside. You can go inside. As you move downwards, the water level increases. As you go downwards, the water level increases. This kind of structure we have in step well. Then we have tankas and ponds. Though it is still practiced in India, it is still practiced in India in multiple places where the water scarcity is more. Constructed in village and temple complex to store water during the monsoon, recharge groundwater and supply water during dry month. How are traditional rainwater harvesting method being carried out and conserved in different regions? So traditional rainwater harvesting method are region specific, designed to capture and store the rainwater efficiency in India's diverse climatic conditions. Tanks and ponds in South India, step well in Western India. As I told you that in Gujarat very famous step wells are there. Johad and check dams in northern India. You may have studied about Johad in Rajasthan. Sir, in Rajasthan they are there. Okay, small trap the rainwater and recharge the groundwater. You can just read through them. Rooftop collection is a modern adoption. It is not from ancient India, but still it is a modern adoption in which we collect the rainwater. The best example are Chennai and Bengaluru. Archaeological and historical record shows from ancient times we have been constructing the sophisticated hydraulic system. This is very important question, very important question. this is very important question, है ना. India has a long history of sophisticated water management system evident by the archaeological system. How? Sir, the bath of Mohenjo-daro of Indus Valley civilization, large water tank built around 2500 BCE, है ना. Step well of medieval India, then Rani Niva in Gujarat, है ना, and provided drinking water and irrigation social space, Tankas in South India. Temple tanks are also there. Kalini Dam on river Kaveri is on 2nd century is there. This shows that in ancient India also we had multiple water conservation system. These are important because these are the answers that we know but we don't remember very well because of too much detailing. Water scarcity may be an outcome of large and growing population in India. Analyze the statement. India's rapid population growth has put an immense contribution. So here though we don't need to explain, sir. A large population will drink a large amount of water. We would require more irrigation. We would require urbanization, industrialization, so many things to support it, and hence it will require water and it can cause scarcity. I don't think here also I need to explain, so you can just write it by yourself. Multi-purpose project. Multi-purpose project are very important. So many times these questions are repeated. So many times. Sometimes their benefits are asked. Sometimes their disadvantages are asked. Sometimes they debate, their advantage versus disadvantage. Compare them with the other viable methods. So multi-purpose project is very important. You can consider this as heart of this chapter. Multi-purpose project is heart of this chapter. So what is question? Large dam have been caused many social movement. Sir, why would large dam will cause social movement? Because the very first thing, it displaces lot of people from their places. Lot of people. If I am making a dam over river Tapi or Narmada, I have to displace a lot of people living on the fertile plain of that river. So the tribal people or the village people are losing their home. Second, sir, whenever the dam are built, they cause massive ecological change because they are flooding the plain with the enormous water. They are flooding the plain with enormous water. So displacement of people, change in ecology, sir. They also, the first point which was change in ecology is also related with us also, because sir, it submerged a large portion of land. It submerged a large portion of land which is now not useful, hence people don't like it. And also sir, fourth point, it can also cause earthquake. How, sir? Because you are concentrating a large amount of water on one place, so it can cause earthquake also. Okay, so Sardar Sarovar Dam and Narmada Bachao Andolan, these were the some famous movements. Flooding of forest, loss of biodiversity, downstream community may get benefited equally, and so people may get benefit, but more people get problem. Okay, so many people may get benefited from it, but a large amount of people are getting displaced due to it. Okay, so if somebody talk you about benefit, you will say that sir, it give us electricity, it give breeding area for fish, it gave inland navigation, है ना. These are some advantage. Urbanization has added to water scarcity. Now to same question multiple times. So now you can also know that, sir, how important this question is. If the multi-purpose project is the heart of this chapter, then this question, urbanization, is lung of this chapter. Equally important. Urbanization added the water scarcity, because they will ask you, no, if there is water scarcity, what is the cause? What are the different solutions? So 3 different kind of question can be asked. Sir, multi-purpose project, advantage, disadvantage, cause of water scarcity, and different way to harvest rain water. So these are some questions that can be asked. The dam that were constructed to control flood have triggered flood more. Analyze the statement. This is good question, very good question. Sir, you are police inspector, you are supposed to stop crime, but you are found to be corrupted and helping the criminal. So this is the case. Sir, you already told us that if you are holding a lot of water on a specific place, it will cause disbalance. Sir, lot of weight. You see, this is my hand. I am putting a lot of weight here. So what will happen? Sir, this place is not facing the force, but this place is facing. So the land will shake little bit. Not always, but at least one time it gets shake and it will cause earthquake. This earthquake which is triggered by the heavy weightage can cause the flood, because the dam water also get displaced. Okay, so dam control flow upstream. Acha sir, that was one reason. Second reason, sir, if this is your dam, you are collecting water in it. So sir, what happened after some time? Sedimentation start accumulating here, and after a certain time the height of sediment increase the height of the wall. So water pass easily. Water which was supposed to be stopped by the wall, is passing the wall effortlessly. Why? Because, sir, sediments are there to support it. And sir, it is inevitable. Sir, sediment will accumulate over the period of time and then it will cause flood. So one, sir, accumulating a lot of water can cause disturbance of tectonic plate, it can cause earthquake. Second, sir, due to sedimentation, the water can flow above the wall, that can also cause the problem. Okay, you can read it if you want. Alternate river flow, dam control upstream but sudden release of water during heavy. This is third thing that I forget to mention. Sir, assume there is a heavy rainfall. So the flood gates are already overwhelmed with the available water. So now in order to save the dam from collapsing, they will release the water, and this release of water will destroy so many villages, not cities, because city people are safe, always safe, because they are rich. No, not because they are rich. These kind of dam are always made away from the public area, that's why. Explain the main feature of alluvial soil. I guess we have discussed this. This is a repeated question. Solve the land degradation. We also discussed this. Why this? Oh my God. Why is the issue of sustainability important for development? new set of questions are there. I guess there might some technical issues due to which our questions get repeated, but these are new set of questions. We have to use planned and sustainable manner to conserve our minerals. Earlier we discussed, but not about minerals, we discussed about the land, that sir, land is very limited and we have to use it judiciously. Minerals are non-renewable resource, so planned and sustainable use is essential for economic growth. If you want to get rich, you should know that how to use minerals. Prevent resource depletion. Minerals like coal, iron, bauxite are limited. Unplanned can exhaust them. Example, excessive coal mining in Jharkhand reduce the availability for future. Reduce environmental damage. Mining without planning can cause deforestation, soil erosion, water pollution, and so on. So this is important. Economic efficiency. If you are using it in a proper manner, you can earn economic efficiency. You see, Gujarat has very few resources as compared to the rest of nation. We have no resources, but still we use it efficiently, and most of industries are located here. Okay, so hence one of the richest state we are. Okay, so what can you do? You can use modern machinery to mine certain resources without getting too much loss. Promote recycling and substitution. So that is the in general. Support long-term industrial growth. Why it is necessary to adopt non-conventional source of energy? Why? Because conventional will exhaust today or tomorrow. So if you are not able to adopt non-conventional, you will be energy less. You will be energy less. Non-conventional or renewable source of energy like solar, wind, biomass are essential to meet India's energy needs sustainably. Limited fossil fuel. Coal, petroleum and natural gas or non-renewable are depleting. And for environmental protection. So these are in general points. You also know that sir, conventional will exhaust sooner or later. Conventional 0. Okay, so non-conventional and environmental protection. We want to protect the nature, that's why we are choosing it. Though we are using a lot of explosive to damage our neighboring country, but still we will use solar panel to save some of carbon emission. Sustainable and renewable energy security. Security is important because you see the first point which I said that sooner or later it will get exhausted. It will get exhausted, so you have to use it in order to be secure in terms of energy. Now, promote rural development. Sir, you may not able to promote or supply coal or petroleum to rural area, but you can supply the self-sustaining idea to them once for all. You can give them solar panels, so they will use their energy for a large period of time, or you can set up a biomass system for them so they can rely on it for a large unit of time. So, how is energy basic requirement for economic development? And this is very obvious question. Very obvious question. If you don't know this question, then you might don't understand the action of America. You see, all the wars or all the things that are occurring in the world is due to this energy requirement only. If you have more fuel, you will have more industries. More industries mean more money. है ना. So the energy is important. The energy is quite important. If you are not developing energy, then you are causing your future to be dark. Energy is the backbone of modern economy, as it's power industry, transport, agriculture and domestic needs, है ना. You see, we say na AI. Sir, AI is also running on energy only, and right now it is unable to replace humans just because of energy efficiency issue only. The amount of energy it required, है ना, the AI, the amount of energy it required to process the data which a human process is more. The same data, if it is processed by human and same data processed by AI, take 10 times more energy for AI to process, and that's why, as it is not energy efficient right now, it is not replacing us. The only factor that is saving us. So energy is very important. Once it become more energy efficient, it can solve the bigger calculation in few watts, then we would be replaced, and it is inevitable. Okay, so right now, so we have to focus on industrial growth, agricultural development and transport and infrastructure. So domestic and commercial needs. Sir, for day-to-day life also you require electricity. If you don't have electricity, then you won't be able to watch my lecture on YouTube, because you are not able to recharge your charge your phone. Okay, then okay, technological advancement. With the availability of energy, you can make modern services like communication, healthcare and so on. Explain the sustainable energy is a key of sustainable development. So this is also discussed so many times, so I would like you to just see this question for 10-12 seconds and then I will swipe. Okay, it supports long-term economic growth. Promotes social equality and enhance the energy security. If you are doing sustainable development, then it will help you in these 3 points. You can write your own explanation and you can give your own example if you want. Energy saved is the energy produced. Explain and justify the statement. This is also very important. If you are not wasting it, if you are not wasting it, you are saving it for tomorrow's need. So energy saved is energy produced. The statement means reducing energy consumption through efficiency is equivalent to producing additional energy, as it required pressure on resources and environment, है ना. Reduces pressure on renewable energy, cost effectiveness. So these are the points. Still you can explain in your own words and give example. Environmental protection, it is so indeed, because if you are using very less energy, you are burning less fossil fuel, then you are saving the environment. Then support sustainable development. India has fairly rich and varied mineral resources across the different regions. Support the statement with example. So we discussed earlier also that in different state we have different kind of resources and it is quite diverse. In wildlife also, in minerals also, we are very diverse. If one is able to use this diversity, one is able to plan properly with this diversity, we can achieve a lot, है ना. So the very first example they are giving about is Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Odisha and West Bengal for the coal, for iron again Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Karnataka, Goa, mica and bauxite. Here, whenever somebody asks you about the diversity, you have to give examples of element or the mineral along with the state. This is very, very important. Without example, geography answers are incomplete. Then about petroleum and natural gas found in Assam, Gujarat, offshore Mumbai High are the key industrial sector. Other minerals, gold in Karnataka, Rajasthan, copper in Jharkhand, limestone in Madhya Pradesh, supports jewelry and electronic. It is necessary to conserve mineral and resources. Explore in any 4 types of way to conserve mineral. Minerals are non-renewable resource. That one should always know. They are non-renewable. Minerals are non-renewable resource. Once depleted, they cannot be replaced naturally. Okay. Conservation ensure long-term availability and industrial future need. So we discussed this point so many times that now so this sounds irritating to me. Importance of conservation. Why we need to conserve it? Minerals are essential for industries, energy production, infrastructure and technology growth. Examples: iron ore, bauxite support the steel and aluminum industry. 4 ways to conserve minerals. The very first is recycle. Now you can write your own words how recycle help. The word itself is self-explanatory. Then substitution, you can use another material that cause less harm to environment, that is easily available, that is cheaper. So substitution is there. Effective utilization is there. For expensive metals we do lot of effective utilization, but for cheap metal we waste lot of them. So we should be doing it for everything. And exploration of new reserves, though it is not way to conserve. Rather than exploring new reserve, we should be doing more research that sir how in less quantity we can do more work. Like in solar panels, right now the most R&D kind of stuff is solar only. People are doing lot of effort to make it more and more efficient. Why should we use renewable energy resource? Explain with the argument. So we discussed it so many times, so I will just give you the heading. Because they have unlimited supply, it help in protection of environment, it give you energy security. Once you are having renewable energy, you are secure that I will get it today also, tomorrow also. It give you energy security. Natural gases are important source of energy. Natural gases are important source of energy. Support with the statement and example. Natural gas is a clean and efficient fuel used in industry, electricity generation and domestic purpose. Where it is used? In industry it is used for fertilizer plant, steel and chemical industry. In domestic and commercial use, it is used for cooking, heating the home and hotel. Example PI in PNG, cities like Mumbai and Delhi. And electricity generation, as it is a very efficient fuel, it is used for generation of electricity also. There is a pressing need for using renewable energy source in India. Justify the statement. This kind of question also we discussed so many times, so I guess we should skip it. Okay. India is an important iron and steel producing country in the world, yet we are not able to perform to our full potential. So they say now that you are able to do this but you are not doing this, you have lack of motivation. Sometimes we have lack of technology, sometimes we have lack of technology, we are unable to reach our full potential, है ना. Iron has rich, sorry, India has rich iron ore deposit, but production and quality are affected by infrastructure. You see, we don't have technology to reach that, no. And what will happen if we have a lot of iron and we don't have ability to extract it or purify it? So infrastructure is not there, technology is less, and policy is issue, because in India there are so many environmental protection boards that don't allow to establish factory anywhere easily. Modernize technology, how can we improve it? By modernizing the technology, improving the infrastructure, encourage the private and foreign investment. Whenever the private sector put their hand in any job, it get done very beautifully. You can take example of education also. Explain the role of industry in increasing air pollution and suggest any extreme measure to reduce it. So we don't know, industries are releasing harmful toxic gas in air continuously. Right now also we are able to see or that millions of factories are releasing their toxic gas in the air. Industry release smoke, dust, harmful gases which increase air pollution. Emission of sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxide and particulate matter. Example, thermal power plant in Delhi NCR and Singrauli. What measure you can use? Cleaner fuel, install pollution control device. Though using this industrial pollution control device won't help you. Afforestation and a green belt. What are? Explain the role of industry in increasing water pollution and suggest 3 measures. So these kind of question you should become familiar with, that they are going to ask you. Okay. Okay, cause of water pollution. Release of toxic channel, heavy metal and dye. Example, textile unit in Tirupura, chemical industries in Kanpur. How can we reduce water pollution? Very first, effluent treatment of plant, recycling and reuse, and stricter government regulation. Earlier we said due to strict government regulation we are unable to reach our potential, and now we are saying we have to make more strict regulation to control the water pollution. We are the one who say all the words, and then we blame government. Okay, how do industry increase the thermal pollution? So now you may have got the assignment. Take the word industry and ask question, how they increase water pollution, how they cause thermal pollution, how they cause air pollution. Give some steps to solve this problem like air pollution. Give some measure to solve them. Thermal pollution occurred. So this is also very easy peasy. You can just see them, and 10-second time will be enough for you to see this. Manufacturing industries are considered backbone of economy, development of country. Justify the statement. No, this question is so important that it is asked 3 times in board. The same question is asked 3 times in board, so you can get the idea. Sir, manufacturing industries produce goods, generate employment and support other sectors. They are not just producing goods, but sir, they are also giving employment. They are also supporting the agriculture. They are also supporting the other sectors also. So you can explain how they generate, they increase the so employment generation, provide jobs in factory, transport and ancillary unit. Example, textile in Tirupara and Ludhiana employs thousands. Contribute to GDP, industrial output contributes significantly to national development. Support agriculture, promotion of exports. Agriculture and industry complement each other. This is also a very good question. You see, we may say that, sir, in green revolution the production of agricultural units or the farms was increased. In green revolution kya hua? In green revolution we saw the expansion of the food production. But sir, how it was made possible? It was made possible because we use lot of machinery, we use lot of fertilizer, we use lot of pipes to supply water, है ना? So where they came from? They came from the industries. And now, sir, these agricultural product will be sold and then it will be used by tertiary sector, secondary sector also. So they are complementing each other. Agriculture and industry are independent. Industry support agriculture by supplying machinery, pesticides and so on. And agriculture feed industry, provide raw material like agro-based industry, है ना? Rural development and employment. Agro-based industry provide job in processing, packaging and marketing. Explain the measure taken by National Thermal Power Corporation to prevent energy degradation, है ना? So this is very important question. As you can see, this question is asked in board 2 times, है ना? So NTPC, in MCQ also NTPC is important. India is the largest power, NTPC, India's largest power producer, take measure to minimize environmental impact for thermal power plant, pollution control, install electrostatic precipitator and fuel gas desulfurization to reduce smoke and harmful gases, ash management, fly ash is recycled for cement, brick and road construction, and also do the afforestation. Explain the importance of manufacturing industries in Indian economy. We discussed this, है ना? Similar kind of question we discussed. The development process of India has experienced transformation from IT and electronic industry. I guess this is last question. No. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. We have good amount of questions to be discussed. IT and electronic industries have modernized Indian economy, improved the service and created employment. Economic growth. IT and electronic contributed significantly to GDP and export. Example, software from Bengaluru and Hyderabad. Millions of jobs in hardware and electronic manufacturing. Like you already know that when TCS start laying off the people, it was a national news because, sir, million people work in it. It is not a for million I may have exaggerated, but more than 2-3 lakh people easily work in TCS alone. And when you will combine the whole IT industry, it will be a big chunk, sir. So IT industry is providing employment to a lot of people, similar to electronic industry. Electronic industry is also providing a good amount of employment, though we are so much backward, as compared to Taiwan, as compared to China, as compared to the rest of countries in world in terms of electronics. Our electronic market is not so great, but in IT we are the best, we are the best. Why does textile industry occupy a unique position in Indian economy? This is also very important. Why you are unique? Because you are producing a lot of employment. One of the biggest employer in our country is textile industry because it is a labor intensive industry. Second, sir, it is also a self-sustained industry. Self-sustained industry because everything from starting to getting cotton or getting silk or getting other raw fiber to making them thread to making cloth, dye, selling, everything is made available in India only. We are not reliant on any other country for their support, है ना? So, sir, it generate employment, cause GDP and support agriculture. It is also self-reliant. Explain any 3 ways through which industrial pollution can be reduced. We discussed this, है ना? We discussed so many times, so I will just discuss the heading. Adoption of cleaner technology, like rather than using coal, you can use CNG. Waste treatment, recycling and reuse. Why is iron and steel industry called basic industry? This is also very important question. Very, very important question. Iron and steel industry is called basic industry because it produces raw material for other industry. है ना sir? You are producing raw material for other, so you will be basic only na. Support other industries, supply steel for construction, machinery, transport and defense. Economic significance, promote industries growth and employment. Explain the importance of cement industry. So sir, any industry, they will, what they will do, they will provide employment. That is the one fixed thing. If they are providing employment, they are contributing in GDP. So that is your template answer. Whenever they ask you about any industry, you will write that, हाँ sir, they help in generation of employment, they help in GDP. Now second, sir, they help in development of infrastructure, because no matter what you are building, bridge, railway station, house or the playground, है ना, whatever you are making, you required a raw material, that is your cement. Support for other industries, similar to the iron and steel industry, it also provides support to other industry because in construction it is required. And my favorite part, the end, है ना. Thanks for all of you to watch.